In the very heart of California, there are alluring places with spellbinding tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. From the notorious Church of Satan to the haunted Lincoln Heights jail, here are 15 things you won't find anywhere else but in California. And trust us, once you see what's hidden behind these sunlit streets, you'll never look at the Golden State the same again. Number 15, Museum of Death. From the name alone, you already know this isn't your typical tourist stop. The Museum of Death, located on Hollywood Boulevard in LA, was opened in June 1995 by J.D. Healy and Catherine Schultz. The purpose behind this eerie attraction was to make visitors appreciate being alive by presenting death in all its raw form. The original location was in San Diego, inside a building once claimed to be the city's first mortuary. It began as a hobby, writing to convicted serial killers, hoping for a response. If one came, it was showcased once a year. After years of collecting items tied to murder, suicide, and serial killers, they opened the museum in 2000. It now holds the world's largest collection of killer artwork and macabre memorabilia. Inside, you'll find photos from the Manson crimes, the Black Dahlia case, the severed head of Henry Landrieu, body bags, coffins, and full-scale execution devices. The tour is self-guided and unforgettable. Number 14. Desert Art of Borrego Springs. If you're an adventure seeker looking for an offbeat California stop, this surreal outdoor gallery might be your next favorite detour. Located in Anza Borrego State Park are 130 full-sized metal sculptures strategically placed throughout the desert. The idea came from Dennis Avery, landowner of the Galita Meadows estate in Borrego Springs, whose vision was to decorate his property with massive artworks. Sculptor Ricardo Braceda brought that dream to life, crafting towering steel figures of prehistoric beasts, historical legends, and desert wildlife. These works range from ancient mammals to wild horses, saber-toothed tigers, frozen mid-pounce, and tortoises slinking through invisible brush. Each figure was designed in motion, creating a vivid sense of realism. One of the most iconic is a 350-foot serpent that slithers through the sand. The entire installation is free to explore, with no gates, no staff, and no rules, just open sky, steel giants, and quiet desert. It's a fantasy land built of rust and vision in the heart of nowhere. Number 13. Kern County Earthquake. The 1952 Kern County earthquake remains the most powerful quake in Southern California since the 1857 Fort Tujon and 1872 Owens Valley events. At 4:52 a.m. on July 21, 1952, a 7.3 magnitude quake struck Kern County, causing massive destruction. The tremor was felt across a vast range from Reno, Nevada to San Diego and all the way to LA. In San Francisco, people noticed it only from the upper floors. In Los Angeles, it caused blackouts and building damage. Even in Owens Lake, 200 kilometers away, a pipeline broke mid-mining operations. Panic spread quickly. In all, 12 lives were lost and 18 people were injured. Property damage totaled roughly $50 million, with over 100 buildings demolished in Kern County alone. What stunned geologists most was how unexpected it was. Of all natural disasters that rocked California, this quake's force and surprise left a deep, permanent mark on the state's seismic history. Number 12. The Church of Satan. Here's something you don't see every day. Situated at the Black House in San Francisco, California, is a highly controversial religious group known as the Church of Satan. This church was founded on April 30th, 1966 by Anton Sandor LaVey, and it follows the principles of LaVeyan Satanism as outlined in the Satanic Bible. LaVey remained the high priest until his death in 1997. Contrary to widespread belief, members don't actually worship Satan, at least not literally. They view Satan as a symbolic figure rooted in the Hebrew word for adversary, embodying pride, indulgence, and self-awareness. He represents the instinctual drive that many Satanists see as a dark, chaotic force woven through all of nature. The church itself was created as a rebellion against Abrahamic religions, which they believe stifle humanity's primal urges. While other groups like the Temple of Set 1975 and First Satanic Church 1999 exist, the Church of Satan dismisses them as imitators. Leaders reject any link to ritual crimes. Number 11. Rodeo Drive. This 2-mile stretch in Beverly Hills ranks among the most expensive shopping streets in the world. Its legacy began in 1906, when Burton E. Green and a group of investors bought the land that would become Beverly Hills. Back then, it was known as Rancho Rodeo de las Aguas. With the opening of the Beverly Hills Hotel in 1912, the area began attracting elite attention. Real estate prices skyrocketed, jumping from $11,000 to $30,000 by 1925. By the 1960s, luxury had transformed the area. Fred Heyman, often dubbed the father of Rodeo Drive, opened Giorgio Beverly Hills in 1961. More high-end stores followed: Gucci in 1968, Van Cleef & Arpels in 1969, Vidal Sassoon's Salon in 1970, and Ralph Lauren in 1971. By the 1990s, it was the fourth most visited spot in Los Angeles. Today, over 100 world-renowned brands line the street, with architectural flair on every corner. It became more than retail. It became an icon of opulence. Number D's. Black Star Canyon. Canyon, found in the Santa Ana Mountains of Orange County, is a natural wonder whose appeal goes far beyond its scenic landscape. Welcome to Black Star Canyon, infamous for being one of Southern California's most haunted places. Beyond its beauty, it's also a known hotspot for cult activity, cryptid sightings, and unexplained phenomena. The real draw, though, is the dark history surrounding it. One legend speaks of a Mexican woman who took her children's lives before ending her own within the canyon. Locals speak of the ghost of Lorena, doomed to forever search for her children. Historical tragedy exists too. In 1989, James Gregg was shot dead by Thomas and Henry Hungerford over money. But the most infamous tale is the alleged 1831 massacre of Native Americans reportedly caught roasting horse and possibly human meat. Ranchers ambushed and killed them, desecrating their remains. Some believe their spirits still haunt the canyon, though many doubt the story's authenticity. Either way, the energy lingers. Number 9. The Haunted Redwoods. Well now, welcome to the town of Orick, a quiet little place with scenic trails winding through the forest and leading to the coast. As the sun shines high and bright, this town seems completely normal. But once night falls, that illusion fades, and the town's darker side begins to surface. Those who stay after dark often report unsettling paranormal activity, encounters that tend to stay with them long after they leave. Beyond the beautiful redwood burl and the tireless work of local woodworkers, there are whispers of ghostly apparitions and cloaked figures seen drifting among the trees. Those unlucky enough to catch a glimpse often experience weeks of blinding headaches and horrifying visions. These stories trace back to 1890, when a fire destroyed the Falk Mill, home to over 400 lumber workers and their families. Many perished. Some believe the spirits of local tribes still roam these woods. Others swear they've seen Bigfoot. What do you say? Number 8. Bodie Ghost Town. From a haunted canyon to a ghost town straight out of the gold rush, Bodie Ghost Town feels like stepping into a forgotten century. With over 2,000 abandoned wooden buildings in various states of decay, Bodie once stood as one of the most prosperous mining towns in the U.S. Between 1877 and 1882, it flourished, producing up to $38 million in gold and silver. But today, that golden era is just a memory, and the remnants of that time serve as eerie monuments to a booming past. Now preserved as a state historic park, Bodie is a major tourist site. Visitors can explore the church, schoolhouse, barbershop, and saloon, where bottles, desks, and relics remain untouched. Walking through it feels like entering a sealed time capsule, a dusty echo of America's most turbulent gold rush years. It's a town suspended in history, where fortunes were made, lives were lost, and ghosts seem to linger in every warped floorboard and shattered window pane. Number 7. The Cedar Wildfire. Well, now this was a super tragic event. At 5:37 p.m. on October 25th, 2003, a lost hunter trying to signal for help unintentionally sparked one of California's most catastrophic wildfires. Strong Santa Ana winds pushed the flames from the Cuyamaca Mountains southwestward at terrifying speed, reaching up to 6,000 acres per hour. Overnight, the fire tore through northern Lakeside, claiming 12 lives and leaving dozens injured. By midday, it had engulfed multiple communities. Homes were reduced to rubble. Families were left with nothing. By the time it was fully contained on November 4th, the Cedar Fire had destroyed over 2,800 structures and killed 15 people. Many victims were caught trying to flee, trapped in cars or overtaken on foot by flames moving faster than they could escape. Some remains were so badly burned that they were only identified by the collars of their pets lying beside them. The blaze scorched 273,246 acres in San Diego County, leaving a scar on the land and on California's history of wildfires. Number 6. The Great 1906 Earthquake of San Francisco. April 18, 1906, is one of the darkest dates for California. On that day, San Francisco experienced destruction on a scale never seen before. At around 5:12 a.m., the ground beneath the city shook with such ferocity that it carved itself into historical memory. The earthquake, measuring 7.9 in magnitude with a Mercalli intensity of 11, demolished nearly 80% of San Francisco. Its violent tremors were felt from Eureka down to the Salinas Valley. Following the quake, multiple fires broke out and burned for several days. The death toll still ranks as the highest from a natural disaster in California's past. The fault line rupture extended both north and south, stretching across 296 miles. The shaking was reported as far as Oregon, Los Angeles, and central Nevada. Though it lasted under a minute, the impact was massive. About 300,000 people lost their homes out of 410,000 residents. Fires alone caused over $350 million in damage, about $8.08 billion today. Number 5. Cecil Hotel. In 1924, businessman William Banks Hanner developed the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, hoping to create an upscale destination for travelers and professionals. Designed by Loy Lester Smith, the construction cost over $1 million, about $21 million now. Located between 6th and 7th Streets, it rose 14 stories high and held 700 rooms. But the dream unraveled after the Great Depression hit in 1929. With profits dwindling, the hotel began renting rooms cheaply, drawing in long-term tenants and struggling drifters. Its location near Skid Row didn't help. Tragedy followed. In 1927, Percy Orman Cook became the first to take his life here. More deaths followed: murders, suicides, and unexplained falls. In 1931, W.K. Norton overdosed on poison. In 1934, Army Sergeant Louis Borden slit his throat. At least 8 people have fallen from the hotel. One infamous case in 1944 involved a 19-year-old woman throwing her newborn from her window. Paranormal investigators now consider the Cecil one of California's most haunted places. Number 4. Underground tunnels of Los Angeles. During Prohibition, several corrupt officials helped construct long tunnels beneath downtown LA. One such place was the King Eddie Saloon, still operating at 5th and Main since the 1900s. While it appeared to be a piano shop on the surface, underneath was an underground bar where people indulged in alcohol during the ban. Beyond the hidden speakeasies, there were also service tunnels, disused subway lines, and horse tunnels dating back to a time before cars were mainstream. Stories circulated about police using the tunnels to transport inmates, while banks used them to move large sums of money in secrecy. Though most of these tunnels are now sealed, fragments remain. If you know where to look, you might catch glimpses of these forgotten passageways, covered in street art, rusting machines, and locked iron gates meant to block explorers. Though officially closed to the public, their ghostly presence still feels today. Number 3. St. Francis Dam flooding. In 1928, the St. Francis Dam in San Francisco Canyon, northern LA County, suffered a catastrophic failure. Built between 1924 and 1926, the dam's collapse became one of the most devastating civil engineering tragedies in U.S. history. The death toll, at least 431, makes it the third deadliest disaster in California's records, following the 1906 earthquake and the Great Flood of 1862. The dam was originally designed to serve as a regulatory reservoir for the Los Angeles aqueduct system. Overseen by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, then called the Bureau of Water Works and Supply, it failed in less than 2 years. Within 7 minutes of rupture, the reservoir was nearly empty. A 120-foot-high wall of water raced through the canyon, traveling 54 miles at an average of 18 miles per hour. It wiped out homes, roads, and anything in its path. To this day, it stands as one of California's most disastrous man-made failures. Number 2. Lincoln Heights Jail. In 1927, Lincoln Heights Jail was constructed in Los Angeles to meet the growing demand for expanded incarceration space. Built at a cost of $5 million, it officially opened in 1931. By the 1950s, it had expanded to accommodate up to 2,800 inmates. Notable individuals once imprisoned here include Al Capone and protesters from both the Zoot Suit riots and the Watts riots. What earned the jail its darkest reputation was a 1951 incident now known as Bloody Christmas, when 7 prisoners were brutally beaten without provocation. Since then, the jail has become a magnet for ghost stories and paranormal investigators. The 1984 horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street used its boiler room, and Iron Man 2 filmed a prison escape scene there. The building was named a Los Angeles Historic Cultural Monument in 1993. Though it stands empty today, the Lincoln Heights Jail continues to echo with memories of abuse, unrest, and a past that refuses to stay silent or forgotten. Alright guys, now let's end this journey with Number 1. Hopkins Building. On Chester Avenue in downtown Bakersfield stands the Hopkins Building, frozen in time since the devastating summer of 1952. That year, a powerful earthquake rocked the region for 33 days, toppling buildings and flattening large parts of the city. Structures that weren't entirely destroyed were damaged beyond safe use, and most were demolished. But the Hopkins Building stood in a strange limbo, too damaged to be used, yet not broken enough to warrant demolition. It remains upright, unchanged, a ghost trapped between two fates. While some ground floor businesses are still open, the upper floors tell a different story. Once home to a dentist's office, an ad agency, and a law firm, they now sit locked behind layers of dust and silence. No typewriters click, no phones ring, only echoes of the past linger behind grimy windows. The building has become a relic of a city forever altered by nature's force, a reminder of how quickly life can turn to stillness. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one. See you.